You've talked about surrendering to what is as a way to join in the ascension that is currently happening on planet Earth, as a way to navigate through what is occurring on planet Earth. Could you enlighten us with some more detailed information as to how to do this, how it works, and help us and our listeners to understand more fully the process you are talking about? What does surrender look like? Is surrendering giving up? In essence, how does one surrender? Thank you for your question. That will assist us in clarifying our intent. What we mean when we ask you to surrender to what is for you to be fully present with all that is occurring within yourself and without yourself, without resistance. Be with your experience, whatever that may be, fully, without trying to run from the experience. Many turn away their attention from what is uncomfortable. We invite you to turn your attention toward that which is uncomfortable, without fight, without resistance. Look at your experience of what is and allow it to be exactly as it is. This is what we call surrender. Begin by noticing what is occurring inside of your body right now, and then again right now, in as many right nows as you can. Be present with what is occurring in the body. This is the doorway to peace, freedom, and expansion. This work will be intense for the beginner. We ask that you keep practicing to the best of your ability. We know this takes courage, great courage, to face into the intensity of what is occurring within your own bodies. What is occurring within your own bodies is a mirror reflection of the stories you are making up about what is happening on planet Earth. The issue, the challenge, lies in your mind. You see something occur, you make up what that means or what that will potentially mean, and as a result, you have a body experience. When one can surrender to what is, or be fully present with what is, without running, they begin to see the truth behind what they have made up. Most of what humans make up about what is occurring isn't true, isn't real, Therefore, there is unnecessary suffering that occurs. You can directly confront the stories that you are making up as a way of seeing the truth. However, this can prove inefficient to the overall outcome of what we're asking you to do. For as a human, you are creating endless stories. We instead ask that you be fully present with all that is occurring, as this will ultimately show you the truth. And once the truth is seen, the stories dissipate on their own. In order for truth to be fully seen, you must first face into the uncomfortable. If you can face into the uncomfortable and relax the body, relax the mind, understand that you don't perceive the truth of what's going on. If you can stay in this place of present, full unknown, the truth will reveal itself and you will be free. We know this is a lot that we ask. We would not ask if you as a collective were not ready. You are here at this time in history to play your part in the ascension. Every little moment that you choose to be present with what is, to surrender, to relax the body when it is uncomfortable, assists in the ascension of the people to a greater degree than you could know. Two vital components to being with what is, or to surrendering to what is how relaxed the body is and how deep your breath goes. We ask that your breath be consistently deep, full, as this will assist in the process of the truth being shown to you. We ask that you relax the body, especially during times of stress, anxiety, and turmoil within, as this will ease the resistance that you feel. If you can take it to the next step and use your breath to breathe in your experience, you will transform it rapidly. To do this, we invite that your breath be not forced, easeful, and full. Breathe in your experience, whatever it may be, and you will transform the experience and begin to see the truth. The truth you will see will occur because you have had a shift of perception. You are currently seeing through filters, through a dirty window, or more accurately, a dirty mirror. When you breathe in your experience, when you relax the body, when you allow to be whatever is occurring, you experience you will naturally get to experience a shift of perception. This shift of perception will free your mind and open you up and allow you to dwell on a frequency that is in alignment with where your planet is headed. You will get to rise with her through this ascension, and your journey will be greatly enhanced. The suffering you experience will be greatly diminished, and the impact you can have on planet Earth and its people will also be greatly enhanced. We know that what we ask is not for the faint of heart. We know it takes courage and strength and commitment to face towards, to move into the uncomfortable, especially now on planet Earth, in the midst of the turmoil that is brewing all around you. There is much fear that is being perpetuated and received. We would say, breathe the fear in, and it ceases to be fear. Breathe in the anxiety deeply, and your mind begins to relax. For currently your mind is perceiving monsters all around. Currently the mind is perceiving that it is helpless. This is not true. You are more powerful than you know, but this truth is covered up by the stories you are currently believing and by the lies you are currently being told. We will reiterate the process that will assist you to see the truth. Face towards the uncomfortable, whatever that might be. Breathe deeply. Breathe it in deeply and receive it. For you cannot judge that which you fully receive. You cannot resist that which you fully receive. And very important, relax the body. If you will adopt these practices consistently, you will soon begin to see through the illusion of lies that you tell yourself and that others tell you. You will begin to see and experience the truth of your power. You will begin to see how you've given your power away to others. You will begin to resonate at a greater frequency, one that is more in alignment with the ascension. If you are new to this process, you may find it challenging at first, but it will get easier with practice. If you are not new to this process, please allow this to assist you to commit in a deeper way, for ultimately, this will bring you much joy, much freedom, and much peace. There are many on your planet who have surrendered in this way, who are fully present with their experience and have moved into a frequency of non-resistant expansion This allows them to consciously place their attention and focus on greater things, such as love, unity, wholeness, and freedom for the planet. This is the expression of power, true power, when one can stop being controlled by the illusions they believe. One can step more fully into the creation, or more accurately, co-creation, that is occurring on planet Earth right now. This is what we desire for each and every one of you, is to step onto the path of co-creation, in which we get to experience the joy together of co-creating a beautiful world. This is the reward, you might say, the gift of being willing to face into the uncomfortable. Once you can see through the illusion of the stories and lies, you get to step beyond them into co-creation. I want to thank you so much for your answers, as it feels like it brought a lot of clarity to this thing called surrender. I really appreciate that, and I know others will too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have another question about the control structures that governments are trying to initiate, the forceful way in which they are attempting to control us even more, such as potentially forcing vaccines, shutdowns, and potential forcing us to sign away of property, all in the name of safety. Our rights are, it's being projected that our rights will be taken away. This is causing people anxiety, as it's triggering helplessness. What can you tell us about what is going to occur on planet Earth in this way? I know you've given us tools to move beyond into co-creation of a better world. But is there anything more around this you can say that will bring peace to people's hearts and minds and make it a little easier for them to go into a place of surrender? The quicker you can move into the co-creation aspect of the ascension, the fewer people will need to be controlled. You are calling upon yourselves this control structure from your governments as a way to force you more fully into being willing to face instead of turn away. So many of you turn away from the uncomfortable. Therefore, the uncomfortable has to get bigger to get your attention. It's getting bigger, and it will continue to get bigger until the majority of the people face into what is occurring and they take their power back by seeing the truth and thus moving into co-creation. We understand and know that you are seeing this forceful nature of your governments as a bad thing. We know it triggers feelings of helplessness and out of control. If you could shift your perception enough to see that all of this you have called upon yourself to get yourselves to wake up, to get yourselves to say no more, you would see it as a gift. It is a gift for planet Earth, for the people of planet Earth, to wake up. And it will wake them up. We would talk about how you as a people will say no. There will be those who fight, and that's okay. But this isn't the highest expression, the most powerful expression of saying no, no more. For in the fight, there is still a belief structure within the one fighting that they are powerless and therefore must resist what is. When one is willing to face what is, no matter what is being presented, with open arms, with big breath, with the willingness to receive it instead of fight against it, the truth will be shown. And that truth is how powerful you are in your ability to co-create a new reality. Your true power lies in that co-creation, that conscious co-creation coming from a perception of truth. You see, it's the perceptions that need to shift, that need to change. Once the perception changes, truth will automatically be seen. Your powerful nature will automatically be seen. Your ability to co-create will automatically be there. For it is the truth of who you are. You have been fed lies and illusions of your weakness, of your inability to manifest greatness, wonderfulness, magnificence on planet Earth. And you are kept swimming in this illusion of lies through your inability to face what is, receive what is, and allow the experience of what is to permeate your body. Most of this occurs in the emotional state. Most run from the emotional state more than they do anything else. This is what we are asking you to face, to turn towards, to embrace, to breathe in, to relax around. There will be forceful structures that will be put in place in different parts of the world and in different ways for different people. This only needs to occur long enough for people to wake up and move into co-creation. This is what we call the waves of ascension. The people moving into this co-creation. You are now just moving into the first wave. Over the next couple of years, the second wave will be occurring. The second wave is where the majority of your planet will awaken and step into co-creativity. Your job now, if you choose, and if you aren't already in the world of co-creation, is to move in that direction. We would like to encourage you now by saying that things are looking better for the people of planet Earth than we initially anticipated. There's a lot more surrendering going on than what might be seen. For surrender is a personal, individual job. More and more people are seeing the truth and moving into this co-creation than what was originally projected. If you could see the way we see, you would be very excited. There are massive amounts of shifting occurring within the people. People are beginning to become aware of what's important in life and becoming aware of the importance that each of you individually contribute to the whole. People are becoming aware of the difference that they can make. People are ripe and ready more than ever before for truth and for change and for what that means for us all. Yes, you will have some rough times, but no, they will not be as intense as you imagine.
Hey everyone, it's Marinna speaking. I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts and experiences around some of these principles that the collective oversoul is inviting us to take on. I'm hoping that by doing this, it will assist a deeper understanding of how to utilize these principles in our life and what that looks like, to give you like a tangible experience from my own life and experience and how these principles can actually work and how it looks in real life. So also some of the things that I experience when I'm communicating and channeling the collective oversoul is that I'm speaking to just the words that are flowing through me. Now, anyone who's ever connected intuitively with other realms will know that most often information is given telepathically and not necessarily in words. So while I wanted to give it to you all in a very raw format for you to be able to see and experience yourself the way the words come through, I also experience this as kind of limiting because they are also giving me impressions and feelings and understandings as they're speaking that are not being picked up in the recording. So I wanted to hop on at the end of this one specifically to clarify some things and give you some practical experiences of my own life that might shed some light on how to implement some of these things in your lives. So when the collective oversoul talks about surrender, what I experience is so much more than words. They're talking to me about this energy that they are inviting people into, and it's this energy of open receptivity and a relaxation in the body that is quite receptive to whatever experience the person is experiencing. I don't experience this from them as a giving up in any way, shape, or form, but more of an openness of reception, like we mentioned before. How one might use this in their daily life is like this. let's say something occurs in your outside world, something in your family or something in the world, and you get triggered and you have this emotion arising. That emotion stems from a belief system that you have created, or somebody has helped you create this belief system, and it causes emotional triggers within the body. Now, these emotional triggers are really what is being asked to be surrendered to or to be received. So if it's anxiety or anger or sadness or fear or frustration or depression or any number of emotional occurrence that is happening in the body, the invitation is to relax everything and receive it. Now, I'm remembering an invitation from one of my guides at one point when I was dealing with some anxiety, and he said, walk out onto your back porch as if you were receiving a beautiful sunrise, and do the same action you would with the sunrise, do that with your anxiety. Breathe it all in as if it's the most beautiful sunrise you've ever seen. And at first I thought my guide was really crazy. And then I tried it. And I tried it over and over several times because I was experimenting, right? So I went out and I did this, and I breathed in this anxiety. And what happened was the anxiety began to calm down. And over the years, I've been guided in what the collective oversoul is trying to get us all to do with the surrender piece. And I want to share an experience with you around this that hopefully will show you the level of freedom that one can have when they take these actions on. So a couple years ago, no, not even a couple years ago, it was a little over a year ago, my brother was murdered in Mexico, and it was awful, horrible experience. And for some reason, it threw me into massive trauma. I was shaking, inconsolable. I couldn't think straight. I didn't want to be on the planet Earth anymore. I was perceiving everything as massively abusive, which was a belief system I had through my whole life, is that every generation is all about abuse. So why the hell do I want to be here, right? And for 2 days, I was in this trauma and resistance. And I decided, okay, I got to have some answers or I'm out of here. And so I got still and quiet inside enough that I could hear my guides, and I'm just like, I need some help. Please help me. And they showed me that I needed to receive the energy of the trauma. And they had previously showed me how to receive it, and that's quite a bit like what you're being told, what we're all being told by the collective oversoul, which is to relax the body. Relax the body and breathe it in. Breathe it in. So I did that for 2 days with the trauma around my brother's death. And I received everything, whenever family members would call and talk about things, I would receive it all and I would breathe it all in. And let me tell you, this was probably one of the most intense, challenging things that I ever have done. But I was committed and I did it. Every single time something showed up, I received it. I prefer the word receiving to surrender because surrender has some, what I would say, negative connotations attached to that. Surrender typically means giving up. And that's not what I'm perceiving the collective oversoul is suggesting that we do. I prefer receiving to that word myself. So if you imagine just breathing it all in and receiving it all, this is what I did for 2 solid days. And after those 2 days, it was like someone pulled my head out of the clouds and I began to see clearly. I had a massive shift of perception around the passing of my brother, around the people who killed him. Around all of that, I was completely out of trauma after 2 days. It's pretty quick. I experienced something that I'd never experienced before. And it was so beautiful, and I'm going to share that with you. It was like the my awareness, my perception opened up enough to be able to perceive love in every aspect of our existence. I felt love in the air around me, in the air that I was breathing. I felt love in my body. I felt love in other people's bodies. I felt it all around. I felt it in the furniture. It was like everything. It was like all of a sudden I was attuned to the vibration of love in everything, and I experienced that for a while after. And I'm remembering going to the family gathering for my brother's, after my brother's passing, even, I think it was 2 weeks after his death, something like that. And I could be wrong on the date, I don't remember. But it was a while after his death when we were able to get his body back, and we did a family gathering. And I walked in, I had a good handful of my family comment that I was glowing. And that's the only thing I can attribute that to, is that I was willing in that intense energy to receive it all, to breathe it all into my body, to receive it at that level. And it shifted my perception so drastically that I was able to see and experience a side of life that I had never experienced before. Now, what's really cool about the collective oversoul and sharing this message in this last recording was that I didn't understand why or how that worked until I did that channeling. And they showed me as they were speaking that by my willingness to surrender to what was, to completely receive what was, shifted my perception and brought me to freedom in a very big way. Now, this was a really intense experience, but if you can take this example and put it into your daily life and imagine all of the ups and downs that occur in daily life. And if you chose to surrender, as the collective oversoul says, or receive, as I prefer, if you were to receive all that energy, if you were to completely relax your body and allow it to be in all moments, or as many as you could, because, none of us are that perfect, right? We're all human. So as many moments as you could, I guarantee that at some point you would begin to have those perception shifts that the collective oversoul is talking about. And you'd begin to see things completely, radically different. Now, I want to give you another small example, and then I'm going to hop off because I know this recording is already starting to get long. And that is around all of this stuff that's up currently in the world. All of the virus stuff, all of the government stuff, all of the election stuff, all of the fear stuff, all of the fighting stuff, all of the stuff that's occurring on planet Earth. I, like so many other people, got really triggered and have been triggered on and off throughout this whole thing. And I've had moments of choosing to receive it all or surrender to it all, and I've had moments of resistance, and I've had everything in between. And quite recently, I got very committed again to, okay, I'm just going to receive all this. And I've been receiving it. And I had a breakthrough quite recently, actually, that was really lovely. I shifted more into this place that the collective oversoul is talking about, at least that I perceive the collective oversoul is talking about, and that is where I feel free around it. I now feel free, and I didn't feel free before. I was very worried, well, what are the government's going to do? And can they really force us to stick a needle in our arm and put whatever the heck they want to put in us? Can they really force us into, worst case scenario, concentration camps? Can they really force us to do these kinds of things? And if they can, where the hell is my power, right? And so I've been being guided and supported in this even before I did this last recording, to surrender, to breathe, to receive it, right? All of these things that they gave us on this last recording have been being given. I finally took it on. I finally did it. And I feel free. I feel like I've popped out the other side, and I'm now in this place of what they're calling the co-creativity. The co-creativity piece, I want to talk about that because I think it's so important to understand for people. And that is that once you're not controlled by the fear, you can move into more of a place of love and excitement and, oh, what do we want to create, and put that energy into the world consciously instead of just trying to get by and bypass the stupid fear, or to get through just one day feeling all of the heaviness of everything around you. Instead of that, I now have access to all of the love that's within me, all of the manifestation tools that I've gained throughout all these years, all of the intentions, the excitement, the experiencing of the feelings of what that would look like to have a beautiful, amazing planet. I have access to all of that now, and so now I'm in this place of consciously projecting that into the world. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that there are many, many, many other people doing the same thing. I know this more because I'm doing it. If I'm doing it, then there's more than just me. I'm not the only person on the planet that's at this place at this point in time. There are definitely more. I feel it even. And we've been told it, and I've been told it. So I want to encourage you, more than anything, to really follow what the collective oversoul is inviting us to do, which is to surrender, relax the body, receive what is going on inside of you, whether you like it, whether you don't, whether you're judging it, whether you're not. Receive it. Receive it. You cannot judge something when you're fully receiving it. It shifts your whole everything inside of your brain around it. It shifts your body around. It shifts everything around it. And it's really quite profound. So I invite you to take that on. Hopefully you'll be able to do this enough to pull yourself out of the fear and the anxiety and the depression and oh my goodness, all of the emotional roller coaster that we are on these days, or that so many people are on, and move into this place of co-creativity with me. It's amazing over here. It's absolutely amazing to have this perception that I'm having now than what I had just a few weeks ago. So, thank you for listening to me, and I really appreciate all of you who are listening to these recordings. It's been such a pleasure and such a joy to do these for people, and I value and love people's questions. So any amount of questions that you guys want to send, I can't guarantee I will ask all of your questions, but I will look over your questions and tune into the ones that most need to be addressed by Planet Earth or by the collective oversoul and given the answers to the people. So thank you once again for listening, for asking those questions, for being on the planet at this time, and blessing however it is you are blessing. I thank you for that.